But we are getting into our next series, our next best of 3. We were talking about it. We got another ZVP.
I gotta tell you, like, these are looking like the 2 best players that we're gonna be casting tonight. So far, at least. Let's get on into it. We're gonna be loading on into a familiar map, that map being Death Aura, the Aura of Death. LE. LE, of course, standing for Lingering Expansionism. Lingering Expansionism. That's when you play Civ and whatnot. Here, in the bottom right-hand corner of the map, spawning all the way to the bottom right-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss player coming down from the land of Korea. He is currently, I would say, the best Protoss player in the world, but it is a little up in the air. Jury is still a little out in that. Going to be representing Jin Air Green Wings, Jaguar. We have Trap.
And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Death Aura LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing Afrika Freaks. It is Armani.
And I do feel like when it comes to Trap, the narrative surrounding him for quite some time, when he really made his breakthrough in 2018 and especially 2019, was that his PvZ was kind of on the weak side. Since then, throughout 2020, I honestly don't really have much complaints for Trap in this particular matchup. I think he does have, a number of builds that he can use to surprise his opponent. I mean, even now, he's being a little cheeky. Just annoying Armani quite a bit with both the hatchery block and also this mineral blocking. And
yeah,
sure, he did lose to Dream. Oh, he did come in second consecutively to Zerg players in DreamHack, but they were Cyril and Raynor. They were like they were basically the top Zerg players in the world at the times that they won their championships.
Yeah, we'll see how Armani does. I'm sorry, we'll see how Trap does here, because again, Armani, he is definitely someone who can take out, a player like Trap or Stats. Like that's what. Yeah, exactly. That's what makes players like Armani or Ragnarok so exciting to watch, because they may not be like the high tier player like Dark or Stu or Rogue who does it consistently, but like they have it in them to do it, like if they're on their game, and we've definitely seen that time and time again here in ESL Asia.
I like calling them the gatekeepers. The gatekeepers of the championships. Like, sure, eventually you're gonna have to face somebody like a Cure, like an Innovation, like a Rogue, in order to win your eventual Premier tournament. But way before that, you gotta prove that you're gonna be able to take up somebody like Armani, somebody like Ragnarok, somebody like even Alive back then.
Yeah, I would still say that Cure is on the same level as Ragnarok and Armani. I like.
Actually.
Yeah.
ESL finalist.
he is. To be fair, to give him some credit. Of course, we can't take it away from Curious, because that was actually his name. Like, he was known as the gatekeeper of Code S for the longest time.
Curious.
Yeah. So, but that his time has come and gone. He's no longer a player. He's more of a caster. Yeah. But we'll see how this game shapes up, as Trap is going for that Stargate opener.
Yeah. Seen a lot on Death Aura back in the previous map pool and now in the current map pool still. But interestingly enough, Trap is not gone for what I believe is more common nowadays, which is the start Void Ray into Oracles. Instead, he's going directly into double Oracle for the time being. Can we get a triple Oracle Light? Is he going to go full stats?
I was about to say, we've seen Stats time and time again go for that triple Oracle opening. We'll see if Trap does the same, as the Stargate was scouted the Oracle as well, so we'll see if this manages to get any damage on this. There are 2 queens here at the natural, nothing here at the third.
Nothing here at the natural either. This Oracle was looking for opportunity, but you got to brought down on yourself, Trap. You prevented Armani from expanding there.
Yeah. he made this like he made it the later base, and he wasn't really able to capitalize on much there. So far the Oracle hasn't done too much, but there are 2 Oracles that they can dive in, tank some damage, and hopefully kill some probes. Drones even.
Yeah, that is, look at what it's about to do. Already taking a little bit of shield damage here of one of these Oracles. Armani doing a really good job of just active defense, almost taking out one of these Oracles. But now the main base, a little bit exposed. There's only a single spore. And with that, you were saying, like, you know, just take a little bit of damage, get a little bit of drones. Trap taking out a decent number of workers there while keeping his 2 oracles alive. Meanwhile, Trap, he is living up to his name a little bit here, going to Phoenixes.
Yeah, so Trap, he did a really good job at getting those worker kills. Now he's able to keep them in this corner until they regain their shield, so then they can later escape or even dive in and get more worker kills. Again, 2 oracles can deal a lot of damage, but instead he opts to recall.
Yeah, it's going to be much more useful at this phase of the game for its utility, in my opinion. Like, you know, just get some stasis wards out in case Armani decides I want to go for Ling run-bys or what have you. I mean, that's pretty much all I can think of at this moment. You know, there's not going to be lurkers out yet.
Yeah, I mean, they can...
Maybe tunneling class roaches, but I doubt it.
Yeah, they can do a good job at scouting, you know, using revelation on the buildings. Same with stasis wards at the third base to make sure that he's able to maintain and expand and you know, secure his third base, I should say. And so far, Armani hasn't really done too much other than drone up.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of has to, with all these oracles out right now. I believe that is one of the different ways that Zerk can sort of go about with air harass. And in my opinion, this is kind of maybe not as efficient, but definitely more effective. It's just, you know, you're going to be losing drones. Just get more drones.
Yeah, definitely. It's the TY method of, you know, worker production, if you will. And yeah, so far, like Armani, he's just, you know, macroing up. We do have a Hydrogen on the way as well. So he's going for, you know, the classic roaches into Hydras, into eventual lurkers. And yeah, Trappy's kind of leaving him alone to do so.
Yeah, well, leaving him alone is one way of putting it, but Trap is building up his army himself. He's going for a massive gateway explosion, and he's looking to make this timing. By the time +1 finishes up, does he have a Warp Prism? He does. Just not really sure where that is.
Yeah, it is here in the center of the map, looking to reinforce the main army being these Adepts and Archons. So Armani is going to be pushing on in, and there are a handful of Roaches, but they aren't here in position.
No, they're not, and the queens are just so exposed over there. They were just creep queens, to be fair, but still, don't want to be losing that many that quickly. These +1 chargelets absolutely forcing all of these roaches back, but essentially providing a buffer for these Archons to do so much damage unharmed. And Trap will be forced back a little bit here, but I feel like their damage has already been done. That trade just went so far into Trap's favor, or did it?
Yeah, I mean...
Okay, it did.
Yeah, really, Trap, he just killed the Lings, and I think the most valuable thing was he was able to kill those 2 queens for free. So, you know, some damage was done. It does hinder the creep spread of Armani, but Armani, he holds well. What's important is that Trap did keep these 2 Archons alive, looking to try and deal some harassing damage here. As long as he doesn't use the Warp Prism.
Be careful, though. That's a lot of anti-air. The Bile even trying to have some good measure. That was almost a throw by Trap.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he was a little bit too ambitious, you know, went too far deep into creep, so he did take a lot of hull damage there, almost lost everything, but he manages to save it, keep it alive, and yeah, we're just getting further into the mid game as Trap, he's trying to secure his 4th base. He has plenty of High Templar for Storms as well, as Storm is complete.
And I tell you what, Light, I honestly really like Armani's position right now. You know, he is relatively safe. You know, as you said, he didn't really take any economic damage earlier on. So what does he do? Throw on the Infestation Pit. Go into the 3rd tier of the game while he has his breathing room available to him.
Yeah, I'm a little bit concerned because he has had it. There we go. I was waiting for the Hive to start. It's like he's had his Infestation Pit for a while. He definitely needs that Hive. He needs those Lurker upgrades so desperately as he's only just now starting his Lurker Den.
Yeah, it will be a while before he can go into that late game army. All of these Templar, they are starting to get sniped. Good buffer here by these Zealots, but 3 High Templar getting sniped right off the bat. Those had a lot of energy on them too, Light.
That was huge.
And with the amount of gas that Trap has been losing this game, he cannot afford another loss like that.
Exactly. That was absolutely huge. Before any kind of engagement happens, he loses 3 High Templar for a handful of Roaches. Like, and in the end, Armani, he wants to get rid of the Roaches. He doesn't care about any of them. But now Trap, he has remade his High Templar. He has 4 of them now with this main army. He's looking to try and push in here.
Yeah, doesn't quite have the energy count though, which is pretty worrying. Trap is opening himself up for an avenue of attack, but I do worry about a potential concave.
Oh, no.
That's not Bane Drops, Light. This is a Doom Drop. Hydras and roaches.
Yeah, this is you know,
I'll tell you what, like, that's one way of getting to the high ground.
That was interesting to say the least, but yeah, okay, Armani, he backs off. He doesn't want to lose any of these fully loaded overlords.
Is that faster than just moving back on creep? I don't think it is, like...
I don't think so, yeah.
It's
Not on
actually
creep.
slower. Alright, these Templar have built up their energy. So, yeah, this is actually looking really disastrous right now for Armani, but the Lurkers are out. There is a bit of a revelation there. Trap, content with the damage that he dealt, going to be backing away right now, which is kind of important as Armani was setting up for this surround.
Yeah, definitely the Biles are landing, and Armani is trying to surround the army with the Lurkers as well. We'll see if Trap is able to escape.
And not quite yet. Should have a recall available to him, but still just trying not to use it unless he absolutely needs to. Trap hemorrhaging a lot of supply right now. I think his Archon starting to get chased down.
Yeah, they were chased down again. Nicely done with the Lurkers. He was able to wrap around and catch the majority of the army. To be fair, Trap did keep a lot of Immortals alive, and that was so key. Like, if he lost them all, that would have been it. But unfortunately, he doesn't have any Storms at all right now. He has no High Templar.
Yeah, the only AoE available to him right now are these Archons, and they have a very short range. Not at all what you want against Lurkers. Fantastic surround coming out right now from Armani, and Trap, he's trying to fight up this ramp, and it's just not really working out for him. Severely underestimated the amount of army supply that Armani had for him.
Yeah, definitely. He's trying to...
A lot of key units for Trap are alive, but how long can that last? They're so red. And with that, I feel like Armani just takes this. Look at the army supply difference.
Exactly. That was so well done by Armani. He actually focused down the War Prism straight away, and then the Lynx came in, surrounded all the Immortals. Everything went down for Trap. That was such an expensive loss. And Armani, he just has so much momentum going for him. He's just going to keep pushing across the map.
I tell you what, like, this has just been a fantastically brilliant game of counterattack by Armani. He just had to defend and then counterattack, find the right position to really take those engagements, and now it's really paying off for him.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Trap, again, like, he kept pushing out and dealing some decent damage, but again, every single time I feel like he overstayed his weapon just a little bit, you know, a little bit too overzealous. Yeah. Pull the patience. Oh, God.
And yeah, now there's really not much of a buffer available for these High Templar or even these Immortals. The Lurkers are slowly making their way in. Mind you, Adaptive Talents isn't complete, so Armani is not really fighting with the most mobile army he has available to him, but it's still a very potent army that he's got.
Oh yeah, definitely, and at the moment all the High Templar are being morphed into Archons. There's only one High Templar remaining. He doesn't even have enough energy for a Storm, and he loses his base.
I don't think he can even do a feedback right now. He does lose that base. And to be fair, it was a base that was starting to get mined out. Trap does have a pretty fresh base towards the north, but again, you don't want to be this far down in terms of the worker count or in terms of the, especially the base count against a certain player when you get to the third tier of the game of tech.
Yeah, definitely. Armani, he was trying to, but he couldn't quite end it, like going up a ramp into all these storms, because each of these High Templar do have one storm available to them. It would have been disastrous. So Armani, he does back up, and Trap, he survives for now. We'll see if he decides to try and like be aggressive now that he has a mothership. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, he doesn't really have much units under the mothership, but I feel like that is going to be the first step, right for Trap. Armani doesn't have any Vipers out right now. So I feel like this is probably his best bet. The Hydras, I mean, they're good. They're not good enough to weather all of those storms and stuck the mothership.
Exactly. Like, the storms under the mothership is going to do so well because Armani doesn't have a Spire. He doesn't have any Vipers to yoink the mothership. So it's going to be so difficult for Armani to actually get on top of this army and actually, you know, able to go toe-to-toe with it. But I don't know if he needs to, because he's, you know, harassing on the other side of the map. He denies another base. And Trap, he's trying to push on in.
And he knows he needs to get the counter damage done. Literally anything. If he kills the base and backs away, I have a feeling that Trap is going to be pretty content. But these Lings, absolute MVP so far this game, will be cleaned out by the Archons, but that does mean that there are two Archons that aren't on the front line.
Exactly. So we'll see if Trap is able to push his way up the ramp, you know, cloaked with this mothership as well. A recall is available. There are plenty of storms. None of them have been used yet.
Yeah, I guess a good thing going for Armani right now is that Trap doesn't really have a lot of anti-air, so that Overseer will be providing a lot of detection. These roaches, there's just not enough back home for Trap to be able to defend against this. And again, will be chased away a little bit, but this is fine. It's Armani.
Exactly. Like, to be fair, again, the terrifying thing about what Trap has is the storms, right? So many storms. Like, oh, the lurkers.
Not too bad. Yeah, Lurker's in a little bit of a compromised position there. He just needs one good volley on these Templar. Come on, show me the volley, Armani. But just not quite meant to be. Trap doing a very good job of just keeping his units back. Show me the volley, Armani. A lot of High Templar do go down. Even some of these morphing Archons as well. A couple of units trying to join the front ranks here for Trap, but will get taken out over there. Though I do feel like Trap should have just enough for this engagement, but look at the production right now, like, already Armani is remaxing. Trap leaving our Red Zerg player alone for just a little bit too long, and once this mothership goes down, I really feel like there's nothing much that he can do.
Well, there's nothing else here, period. There's the mothership, a single Archon, and 2 Immortals. Again, Trap, he traded so well, but because economically he was so far behind, sure, he won the fight, but Armani just remaxes.
Exactly, Armani's winning the war. He's going to be winning all of the other fights from here on out. And I don't think Trap can believe in himself. I mean, he's still taking some time to process this. Hasn't tapped out quite yet.
Yeah, I mean, he does have, you know, more High Templar. They don't quite have energy for Storm. They just need a little bit more time. Overcharge is used.
I feel like there's just enough Hydras here to one-shot just about any unit right now for Trap.
Yeah, definitely. Trap, he's trying to keep everything alive, but GG gets called.
Brilliant light. This is why Armani, we've been watching him for over a year. This is why he's a round of 8 GSL player now.
Exactly. Armani, he's such a good player. Takes the first game in this best of 3 from, you know, as you were saying, one of the best, if not the best Protoss player in the world.
I'm nodding my head right now.
As again, when it comes to the Protosses, it's a lot less clear cut when it comes to the other races, like, you know, Trap, Zest, Stats, like they've always been up there as the top 3.
To be fair, we have 3 champions for Zerg right now, Light, and for Terran we have.
It's just Clem, man.
I'm pretty. Sorry.
It's just Clem, man.
It's pretty much just Clem right now. Yeah, to be fair, I was gonna be like, well, maybe it's between TY and Clem and Innovation, but I'm like, no, it's Clem, 100%. I'll put a Clem, then Inno, then TY, personally. But for Zerg, I mean, we've got Cyril, we've got Rogue, we've got Raynor, who are all pretty recent champions.
Oh my god. Guys, you gotta stop. The players keep starting when things aren't quite right. They first started when one of the casters was in instead of the player, so Into the Inu was there instead. That's why he left, and then they started again, but we needed to get Into the Inu back, so yeah, there we go.
Good old Inu.
It's okay, we have everyone now. We're all in. Of course, CranKy Ducklings casting in English, as well as Legend K in French, Belair in German, and Into the Inu in Korean.
Yeah, just keep your eyes on the Wikipedia for your preferred language over there.
Yeah.
Not Wikipedia, Team Liquid. .net. TL.net.
Yep. They are listed on the Wikipedia page as well, on the very bottom of the page.
Nice. Yeah, so just scroll down for it. And speaking of scroll down forehead, we are now here on Pillars of Gold, LE. Used to be holding up the Golden Wall, LE, which used to protect the Eternal Empire, LE. But recently, the LE submarines, they've been on a rampage. They've had nowhere to hide. They've had no walls holding them back. And now, I don't even know what's going to happen. Like, what's going to happen to those LE submarines? Over here in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, starting all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map, we have the blue Protoss player coming down from the land of Jin Air Team House country. Korea, he is going to be representing Jin Air Green Wings Jaguar. We have Trap. He is the wing commander.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Pillars of Gold LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, currently representing Afrika Freaks. He is Armani.
All right.
Okay, so
So
Armani.
what do you think?
Yeah?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, what do you think we're gonna be seeing perhaps differently now on Pillars of Gold? I would generally consider this, well, Pillars of Gold to me, it's Light Shade shift at 90 degrees, or I guess Light Shade is Pillars of Gold shift at 90 degrees. It's a map with a lot of wide open spaces. Okay, I guess Light Shade is the third base is a little more isolated than on Pillars of Gold, but yeah, I don't know. I feel like both of them are, you know, these very wide open. I want to say Zerg favorite maps, but we'll see more maps on Light Shade.
Yeah, I mean, like, there definitely is an opportunity here for Trap. I feel like he's probably going to play... He's not going to whip out something crazy. He's not a Patience. He's not a Parting. Like, he's down 0-1. I don't think he's the kind of player to risk it and do something like, I don't know, double Stargate or, like, you know, fast DTs or anything like that. So we'll see what
I feel like he should.
Yeah, I mean, maybe he should.
But he should.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? I don't know if that's in his repertoire. At the moment, he is just going for the standard Stargate opening. I hope he does something a little bit crazier. I hope he gets like a Void Ray, but again, I don't think that's like in his MO,
I don't think
you know?
Void Ray is too crazy nowadays, to be honest with you, Light.
I think it isn't, but like for Trap, it may be. You know, like...
It may be, yeah. I mean, he is a wing commander. Where are the wings in the Void Rays? And to be that one.
Exactly. So we'll see what he does. We'll see if he goes for like 1 Oracle, 2 or 3. We'll see if he makes Phoenixes. We'll see. I mean, if he was to go for double Stargate, I feel like double Stargate Phoenix could be the play, you know?
Yeah, get a lot of early game damage with the drones, got a lot of crowd control potential, especially if Armani decides to go for Lurkers. Well, actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've seen Phoenixes versus Lurkers that often. Kind of makes me think that there's a reason for that, but I'm just curious as to how that dynamic will work out now.
Yeah, I feel like it wouldn't work out just because Lurkers are usually accompanied by Hydras. And
right.
Hydras are like ideal against Phoenixes.
Insane anti-air.
Yeah. So I feel like because of like the natural army composition of the Zerg, Phoenix play would struggle a little bit more. But you know, we may see some more experimentation with that sort of stuff.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. We need to commission Paco Mike to do that, I feel. Or Stardock.
Exactly. What's interesting is that Armani is going for a quite fast Evo chamber here in the back of his main base, which he's trying to hide.
And he's actually going for ranged upgrade instead of melee, so I feel like we should be seeing a Rotoran out pretty soon, but who knows? Maybe this is the game that Armani says, you know what? You got some really nice wings over there, Commander. It would be a shame if someone were to get Hydras real quick.
Someone clip them, if you will. And honestly, I agree. Like, I'm honestly surprised. To me, this looked like an early Evo into like an early +1 melee timing. But the +1 range is really throwing me off. I hope that this is intentional from Armani.
Well, the Rotoran is about to be thrown down, so I feel like it is. It has gotten scouted by Trap, and this is a lot of drone damage. Armani really underestimating the micro of Trap there, I feel.
Yeah. Oh boy, 7 worker kills, and the Oracles aren't even in red either. Like, in the previous game, both Oracles almost died to kill 5 drones, so they've got plenty of health to go back in again.
Yeah, it is looking that way. But till then, we just have Zerglings chilling in the middle of the map.
Yeah, we'll see. Oh my god, he's going back in. How many more is he gonna get?
Round 2. The Queen is not in position. Like, the Queen was not in position. Only a single spore. And 4 more drones do go down. Now, finally, that Oracle is down to the red. But, yeah, that's a bit of an oof. Speaking of a bit of an oof, those Adepts, did they live?
They went down. They did not. Down. Yeah, they did not get any damage whatsoever.
Like, is that a shade?
Yeah, they shaded in. But I agree, that was a bit of an oof. Like, these oracles have done an insane amount of damage already. Armani, he has to try and do something here with what he has. The Lings, they try and sneak in, but there is a wall.
Yeah, and this is where it would have paid if he went for melee upgrade instead of range.
Yeah, it definitely would have. But instead, he has other things in mind. You know, he already has +1 range. He has his lair finished and complete. We'll see if he goes straight into Hydras or if he has some more Roach Ravager play in mind.
Well, he's going for Goliath. He's getting a couple of Roaches out.
Yeah.
I feel like he's gonna. I feel like he's not really gonna commit it to the Roaches personally. Like, I think if any time were for him to go into making a lot of Lings, it would be now.
Yeah, and as you say that, he is getting +2 range as well, so it looks like he wants his main army composition to be Roach Ravager for the time being, and he desperately needs it because Trap, he's already here, and he's already got plenty of sentries with plenty of energy.
That he definitely does. These Stalkers doing quite a lot of damage, and this is without +1 finished up. And again, I just cannot get over it. Like, Armani, he's got a lot of Lings, but he has no upgrade for them. Only for the range weapons. These are some decent vials and some pretty good pickoffs on these Stalkers. These Lings were quite expendable, but here come the reinforcements of that. Does Armani have enough to hold?
We'll see. A lot of his units are in production right now. 18 Lings and 5 Roaches on the way for Armani. It looks like Roach Speed is going to finish up as well. This is happening as well. And what's important is that he killed the majority of the sentries. So this push from Trap is a lot weaker.
Yeah, it definitely is. Even with these reinforcing Stalkers, I mean, Armani, he did have the defender's advantage. He did have enough time to sort of get some reinforcements out. Now, we normally do say that when your supplies are even, it favors the Protoss player, but I don't know, like, this is a very good position for Zerg to fight in.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, look at that arc. Like, look at that concave with all those queens as well. Oh.
Armani, he is like a gymnast. That arc. Ending.
Exactly. That's exactly what Armani does. And you know what? Trap, he saw how flexible Armani was. He was like, oh, man, I'm having none of that. Like, I'm backing on up. I can't commit. And Trap gets pushed away.
Yep. Far, far away. Back to base.
Yeah, and he's, you know, just establishing his third base. He is getting a robotics bay as well, so he's going to be looking to get into Colossus or Disruptors, one or the other. But in the meantime, he's still trying to apply pressure here, trying to find an angle of attack to, you know, find some damage on the side of Armani.
Yeah, he's just sort of poking in here and there, just trying to apply a little bit of pressure on the Zerg player. I think he does realize that if he goes too far into creep, then he's going to be pulling the patience, and yeah, Armani's just going to collapse on top of this army. This is not a very beefy army, like, now that I think about it. It's basically pure Stalkers. He will be getting some Disruptors now. He will be switching into Chargelets, but yeah, I feel like this may be a little bit too late. Armani has quite a bit of momentum behind him, army-wise.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like, Trap has to be careful not to be forced to fight without his Disruptors. Like, he needs his robo-based units with his main army. Like so. Oh, those vials. I thought for sure they were going to land. And speaking of landing, that Purification Nova getting just about the best hit connect that it could. So Armani does still have to be a little bit careful. Good surround on top of one of these Disruptors at the very least. Blink backward, but it does expose another one of these Disruptors. Hot pickup coming in from the Warp Prism, and with that, Trap going to be able to secure his fourth base and completely chase Armani back. Yeah, that was a really good surround, but that was a lot of Lings for a single Disruptor. They dealt damage and they were able to kill the sentries as well, but I don't know if that was really worth it. To be fair, Lings are just minerals. Yeah. I mean, when you think about it, how many Lings was a single Nova going to take out? How many Lings were two Novas going to take out, right? Better to take out the Disruptor early, huh? I don't really know. We'll see how this goes, as this feels very PvP-esque, you know, mass Blink Stalkers and Disruptors. That's all we have here from Trap. Yeah, Blink Disruptor has generally been considered to be more of a PvP composition, as you said, but I do feel like we're seeing it a bit more in both PvZ and PvT, although not as common. Nice little run by coming in here with these Zealots, really forcing Armani back, and there's sort of one thing you can do if you know that your
opponent hasn't invested too much into Banelings.
Yeah, definitely. It does take a while for just pure Lings to deal with these Zealots, especially because of the SimCity, of the positioning of those Zealots. It takes so long.
It's completely blocked everywhere.
Yeah.
But the run by will be dealt with. Or not run by, I should say drop. Well, I mean, it's a bit of a run by and a bit of a drop. A little bit of colony, a little bit of colony. It's like...
Yeah, run, drop, if you will.
Yeah. Drop, run.
There you
It's
go.
kind of like parkour. You drop and then you hit the ground running. Smash mouth method.
Yeah, once again, the War Prism is going into the main base. This time there are plenty of queens here to help defend and ward away the War Prism. Meanwhile, the main army of Trap is looking to push in again at this 5th base location, but there are so many Banelings here.
There are a lot of Banelings where they don't do as well as they used to. Beautiful Purification Nova. And with that, feels like Trap has just enough to survive and potentially even go even further.
Oh my god, look at the supply drop for Armani. Jesus.
That is the duality of the Disruptor Light. Sometimes they're just dead supply. Other times, they make your opponent's supply dead.
Exactly, and that's exactly what happened. Armani lost so much to those Disruptors, and now he's gonna have to forfeit his base.
Yeah, not really much you can do there. Meanwhile, another run by here is gonna force a cancel. Armani slowly getting starved out here, like.
Exactly, he's just being pulled apart. He loses a hatchery to the south, sorry, to the east and to the west. They both go down, and now Trap, he's looking to push into the 3rd base. Like, again, his army is looking so strong right now. He has so many Purification Novas available to him.
That said, he is relying a lot on the Disruptors, which aren't the most reliable unit. I think our Trap has shown that he can land those Novas when he really wants to, but again, it's not a very reliable way of damage, and that's not majority, but a lot of his army supply right now. But that was a beautiful Nova, hitting just about every single Baneling. And again, Banelings are just not as efficient as they used to be, like.
Yeah, I mean, Armani is trying his best to try and hold them, but GG gets called.
Trap, gonna take this to the ace match, proving once again something.
Proving
easy.
Exactly. Proving once again that he is one of the best of his race, of the Protosses, and he ties up the series 1-1, showing us all that he can fight back, that he's not one to just get simply 2-0'd. And we are going to be getting to that ace match.
That we definitely will, and this is going to be exciting, Light. This is going to be very exciting. Obviously, I'm a little bit biased towards Armani. He is our boy. We've been catching him. Well, I feel like we've been watching him for a while, but especially in this year, that was kind of a meme that Quirky proposed, which was somehow we always cast him, and it's kind of become our duty. But again, Trap, he is one of the top, I would argue the top Protoss player right now, and he's also won a lot of these ESL Open Cup Asias. So he is not one to just bomb out in the quarterfinals like that.
Yeah, definitely. That's the thing, right? Like, neither of these players really, like, they're both time and time again, they make it at least to the semis, but, you know, due to the bracket, due to the seeding, they are facing each other here in the quarterfinals. It's going to be such a shame for either of these players to be knocked out here, but only one can advance.
There can be only one. So, no, wait. Ooh, going Demo Man way. That'd be. I can't do that. Not with my throat. Not with my current state. But we are going to be now on to Lightshade LE. The opposite of Nightshade LE. And LE does, in fact, stand for light enough. Light enough. That is when you are in the market for a laptop and you're like, should I get this? And you're like, no, it's not light enough. I need to get an emote or light emote. Speaking of which, light when emote. That should have been the LE actually, light emote. That could be like light when emote. In the top left-hand corner map, starting all the way in the top left-hand corner map, the blue Protoss player coming out from Atlanta, Korea, representing Generic Green Wings Jaguar. We have Trap.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade LE, we have the South Korean Zerg player, the Red Zerg, currently representing Team Africa Freaks, the land down under, sometimes better known as Juanitos roommates, but here he is. He's tied up 1-1. Can he close it out? Can he win this entire best of? It is Armani. Oh,
How crazy would it be if we got a roommate finals?
right?
The special is waiting on the other side of this bracket, already in the semifinals, waiting for the winner of, if I'm not wrong, Time and Dongri Wu.
Yes, of course, if you're interested in that series, currently Creighton and I believe Minty Crystal, or Mint Crystal I should say, are both casting DRG versus Time. I did quickly peek in there, you know, before this series started, so they are casting that series, looking to head straight into the other semis, so we'll see if we can catch that later on. And yeah, this is exciting. Like, if we do get into a roommate versus roommate finals, like, this reminds me of like the Axiom days. I don't know if you remember. I believe it was Impact versus Innovation in the finals.
Yes.
And they had to like put a cardboard in between their PCs and stuff like that. Like,
I remember that. If I'm not wrong, they also had like a little bit of a bet on who was going to pay for the chicken for that evening.
Yep, exactly.
That was fun.
Oh my god, it's always great. Like, that's something that we don't get a lot of anymore, but it's you know, something that I always long for when it comes to like the team houses and like how the players inside interact and like the potential content that we can get from that.
Yeah, rip COVID.
Rip indeed. But you know, he's done it 2 games in a row. He's doing it for the 3rd. He's going for that Stargate.
Well, you know, don't what's that saying? What's that metaphor that I'm thinking of? Like something about dogs and lying.
You can't teach an old dog new tricks.
No, not that one, because Trap can learn. Oh, he's going for it this time, right? He switched it up. He's not going Oracle first.
He's learning. He's not old. He's kind of old, but you know what, he's going for Void Ray. But meanwhile, we do have a massive amount of links coming out here from Armani, looking to try and deal some damage, looking to try and bust on in, but Trap, he realizes this and throws down the secondary wall behind his first.
Yeah, taking this 100% seriously. He knows how aggressive Armani can really get and how committed he can really get when it comes to, you know, his harass like this. And so he decides to just get ready.
Yeah, he does. Meanwhile, Armani, he is joining up behind this, so he made a massive wave of links to try and, you know, test Trap's defenses, to try and make sure...
Yeah, I'm starting in. Yeah, I'm starting back in. But it worked for a second there, Light.
Yeah, lesser player would have lost their adepts then and there, but Trap, he does pull back just in time. And yeah, Armani, he's still sharking around with these links. He does spot the Void Ray, so he is aware of it.
Yeah, just going to be trying to keep his overlords back at home, which is a little bit annoying if you're a Zerg player trying to get some vision across the map this early on, but, you know, fingers crossed. What do they call it? Creep tubers were going to be enough. Alright, single Oracle does go in, and it's getting a decent amount of damage here. No queens that can really chase this Oracle or really zone it out too much, so it just takes a couple of Spore hits and 5 drones.
Yeah, that was actually pretty good. 5 drones for a single Oracle, and the Oracle manages to stay alive. It's pretty nice, especially because that second Oracle is going to be joining up with the first, and they're going to be diving back in.
Yeah, they are. And this time, it's going to be a little bit more difficult. There are a lot more queens. 300%, no, wait, 300 times percent, wait, 300% of, yeah, no, whatever the math is. There are 3 more queens than I used to.
Yep. You know, they used to be 0, now there are 3, and they're enough here to push away the Oracle so they can't quite find as much damage as they did earlier. And yeah, you know, Trap, he's just taking on up. You know, this time, I like this. He's getting a much earlier Zealot leg, Zealot charge, if you will, as well as that Templar Archives. And
you smell that, Light?
What do I smell?
That is the smell of the beef on the barbecue. The wave is coming. The smell of that Wagyu. You know,
exactly.
Crisp. Crisp? No, you don't want your Wagyu to be crisp.
that's not. Something's gone wrong. Something's gone wrong if somehow your Wagyu is crisp.
Listen.
So we'll see. We'll see if Trap is able to maintain his meat. Question mark.
If he can get temperature control.
Yeah, we'll see. As you know, we do have the first 2 Archons here in the War Prison looking to dive on some units, on some queens.
Yeah, if they're able to get a queen, that would be good damage. But the not relief, the word I'm thinking of, like
transfuse,
not restore, transfuse. Why did I say restore? Transfuse was quick enough. And Armani not really losing much of anything, really. Those are creep queens. You can afford to allow them to expend your energy.
Oh yeah, definitely. Really nice defense there from Armani. The Archons literally did nothing, only scouted that there was a lair, which was, you know, to be expected, to be honest. So yeah, so far so good, but the Oracles, they just get more kills.
Yeah, but this time he does lose one of these Oracles. A little bit of risk reward right now if you're trapping. I guess the question you got to be asking is, was that worth it? He does have at least 1 Oracle still alive, which can provide him some revelations, can provide him a couple of stasis wards as well. But he lost an Oracle when he used to not lose some light. I was like, oh, he's gonna lose both! He's gonna lose both! Just at the last centimeter.
Wow, nicely done. Armani's able to chase down and snipe the last remaining Oracle, so both do go down. Not before overall killing, I believe it was 10 workers between the both of them, so some decent economic damage was dealt, but nicely done. Armani was able to take them out, and Trap, he's getting ready with that beef, if you will, with those Archons, with those chargeless to push out.
The wave is approaching, Light, and it is tasty.
Oh yeah. And we can see how beefy it is, you know, 3 Archons, 3 Immortals, and those Charge Lots. And what is there here to defend from Armani? He has some Road Ravager, a couple of Queens as well, but I don't know if he's going to be able to hold on to this hatchery.
Yeah, I mean, he is buying himself some time, doesn't want to cancel it just yet, but as you were saying, he does have to give it up and fight in a much more defensible position up this ramp. Is he kind of a little bit too far back? Apparently not. As that was going to be just enough for Trap to back away. This Void Ray, I'm waiting for the Bile Slide. I'm waiting for the Bile to land. Wow. And there we have it. Void Ray gets taken right on out.
I was waiting
Trap
as well.
Just waited 1 second too late to start moving it.
Yeah, the Void Ray was like a deer in the headlights. He just froze in the middle of creep, and it's like, oh god, no, you don't want to be here. Biled out of the sky.
Get out of here. All right, Armani actually going for some Swarm Hosts now. Interesting.
So
I would normally say they're token Swarm Hosts, but there are 9 of them being made right now.
Yeah, I was about to say, like, are these like accidental Swarm Hosts because there were 3 in production to begin with? But yeah, now 9, 10 on the way.
Held down the key a little bit too long.
Yeah, this is very not old school, but this is like very early 2020, like February, March 2020, if you will. I'm going for Swarm Hosts against Protoss. It definitely can work, but it's fallen out of fashion. We'll see how it does here in the modern meta, in modern or the new season maps as well.
Yeah, I think you would be a little bit surprised to hear that. You know, this is still something that does get thrown out by Zerg players at least once in a best of 7 series, I would say. You know, just to sort of see what they can get done with it. And sometimes it works out, but other times, as you were saying, it's just not as potent as it used to be.
Yeah, it's nowhere near as common, as popular, if you will. Again, like, Hydra Lurker is kind of the go-to nowadays, but Armani looking to change things up here in the Ace match.
I like it. Trap is probably anticipating Hydra Lurker, so why not switch it up? This Locust, okay, he does reveal his hand a little bit quick here, but if he's able to get this Nexus, all was well. Battery overcharge working overtime.
Yeah, the overcharge does save the Nexus. Nexus barely lost any health whatsoever. Now the main armies are clashing.
And yeah, I think that was a bit of a better trait for Trap, but he did lose an Archon and an Immortal to that. So at the end, I don't know.
Yeah, again, like as you were saying, Armani, he showed his hand. Now Trap is aware of the Swarm Host. Because of that, I imagine he's going to be throwing down more stack defense at his fringe bases to make sure that they don't get Locust Wave down. And yeah, we'll see how this goes. Again, like this ledge is actually quite nice for those Swarm Hosts.
Oh, that they are. You know what else they'd be good for? Like tanks.
Tanks? Wow, lurkers.
I'm gonna use that.
It actually does look disgusting for tanks. Like you see, jump a couple of tanks here and then drop on the low ground with your Marines. Like, be pretty good.
I'm gonna use that from now on. I'm still using that. These Swarm Hosts getting caught right out of cooldown. But meanwhile, a massive roach run by here towards the 4th base of Trap. and it's taking out just about everything. Trap really severely supply blocked right now, and you don't want to be that against a Zerg player who's maxed out.
Oh yeah, definitely. And Trappy's not going back home, and
oh, I thought we saw a GG, but it is a PP.
Same.
Trap just cannot believe that he's behind, can he?
As soon as that happened, I was like, oh my god, what? Like, I thought he was okay. And okay, here we go. We start up again. He's pushing on forward. What's important is that a lot of the supply for Armani are in these swarm hosts, and right now they're just dead supply. They're not ready for the next wave.
I think you did say it best there. They are pretty much in supply, whereas all of Trap's army are active and looking to fight. There's one more prism. If those were Ravagers, they've been biled down so fast, but
Lucas is trying to catch the army.
Not quite to be. They are trying to catch the army, and this could be a pretty potent flank. Right, Purification over, not getting too much done over there, but when it's all said and done, I mean, Trap lost his 4th base, Armani lost his 5th.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a weird position where Trap, he's down to 3 bases. Meanwhile, Armani is also down to 3 hatcheries. Right now, he's trying to get his 4th and 5th up and running because he did lose 2. So, yeah, right now, both players are really hurting.
Oh, yeah. Hurting quite a bit.
But part of me wants to give
Armani is going to be the one who transitions quicker.
Yeah, part of me wants to give the edge to Armani because of the swarm hosts, because they are kind of like free damage. Like, you can just keep doing wave after wave and hopefully getting some value.
I feel like he's using them to buy time, and that is absolutely the right thing to do. He is checking up into that Greater Spire, but I think you're all right. He will have to either give up that or some of his roaches if he wants to make use of that. Beautiful Biles, but not enough to really clean up here. Meanwhile, the Nexus does go down. Battery overcharge just a little bit too late there.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Okay, so to be fair, Trap, there is this window of opportunity where so much of the supply for Armani just isn't going to be able to fight, so maybe Trap can deal some kind of damage, and he realizes this as he is pushing out into the map.
Yeah, parked himself right in the middle, which I feel like is perhaps the worst place for the Protoss player to fight, but you know, it does depend on how soon Armani is able to capitalize on this. The Locusts do come in, and they will be able to get a flank here.
Oh my god.
Strategically leaving behind 1 disruptor. I do quite like that.
Yeah, 1 disruptor does go down. Meanwhile, the Locust Wave is absolutely destroyed. So now Trap, he doesn't have to worry about the Swarm Host at all. He can just push on forward and deal with just the naked Ravagers.
Yeah, no buffer whatsoever for them. It's still going to be a while before these Brute Lords can come in. And so for the time being, Armani just keeping with these Corruptors. I thought for a second maybe he was going to use them to take out the Colossus, but no, I guess it may have just been a reposition. Meanwhile, Trap in a lot of danger. We could be getting into a bit of a base trade right now, Light, but the thing is, Trap is the only one losing bases so far.
I mean, now he's getting into the natural as well. To be fair, the Corruptors, the Broodlords are about to morph in, and Trap doesn't realize how vulnerable they are.
Yeah, they are so out of position right now, but there is a little bit of surround. Armani just doesn't really have his full army here to defend, though. And I guess to be fair, you could say the same thing about Trap, but yeah, I feel like this is going to be better for our blue Protoss player in the end.
Yeah, I mean, the Roaches...
just enough anti-air.
Yeah, the Roaches are dealing damage across the map, but all the Broodlords are going to be taken out. Only 1 Broodlord remains, and he gets blinked on top of, so all of them get taken out. And now the army for Trap, I feel like, is just so much more, like, versatile, so much more beefy. There's Colossus, Disruptors, Immortals, Archons, it's everything you need. And as you said, I think we're just going full-on base trade.
Yeah, for the time being at any rate, we do see a little bit of quick recall. Not sure what ended up getting recalled. Just probes. Yep, just probes for the time being.
Yeah, I heard it as well, but I didn't see any army. I was like, what? Okay.
And both the players are essentially rebuilding. Now, to be fair, Armani is the one at the bank. Trap has a better army, but he can only afford to lose once. Or he can really only afford 1 fight at the moment. Come on, +1 flyers. If nothing else, at least have +1 flyers finish up. But he actually cancels it at the last second.
Interesting. And I mean, I'm sure a lot of that comes down to the fact that he has nothing that can utilize the +1 flyer attack. Like, he has no Corruptors out on the map. And the thing is that Trap, whenever he wants to, whenever he feels like, you know, vulnerable or like as if he's going to lose, he can just recall. Like, he can just go back and defend.
He absolutely can. I think I was talking a little bit earlier about how Armani's the one to bank, but he doesn't have the production to make use of that bank right now. There's only 1 hatchery up right now, Light.
Yeah, and he's supply blocked. Like, he just can't produce anything, Armani.
So heavily supply blocked. He's evacuating a lot of his drones. He knows that he does need to take a base elsewhere and get some production out, but it's a bit of a delicate balancing act right now, isn't it, Light? As there's just not enough of a bank for Armani to, throw down as many macro hatcheries as he wants and then remax. This has been such an odd game.
Oh, yeah, and Armani is trying to catch the army. He confirms that there is detection and...
Okay, then. And what an odd way to end such a close series, but in the end, Trap is going to be the one to go up into the semifinals. To face the winner of Time and Dong Regu. A mistake over there earlier. Special is actually going to be facing Solar in the lower bracket semifinals. Lower bracket? No. Other half of the semifinals.